Hello everyone, welcome to another Let's Play of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. My name is Anna Mardell, and we're about to go into part 3 of the Big Top case. I did want to warn people on each of these videos that there is a weird and super uncomfortable running gag in part 3 where grown men express attraction to a girl who in the game is supposed to be 16 years old. I don't honestly know why they didn't age her up to something a little bit older, but it's here and we're stuck with it, and it's a running quote-unquote gag that I did want to warn people about. So let's go into this trial. If you're still interested in watching from otherwise, I would say skip to case 4, which hopefully won't have that in it, please. I personally was not expecting that when I started playing this case today. Okay. December 29th. It's another, just after Christmas case, actually. Sweetie, you have to believe me. I didn't go anywhere near the crime scene. So then, where were you when the murder took place? We talked about it yesterday, remember? I was in the ringmaster's room. While you were there, it was the ringmaster who left the room, right? Exactly. He told me to wait in the room because he would be right back. That's when the ringmaster headed to the scene of the crime, right? That's what it seems like. But the ringmaster must have been wearing Max's costume, right? Oh, sweetie, I just remembered. I went straight to the ringmaster's room, still dressed in my stage clothes. But when I got there, I went ahead and took the costume off. Which means? It means that the ringmaster could have taken his costume and went out looking like Max. I mean, I guess it makes sense. It was snowing. Fabulous! That's a fabulously possible possibility. Well done, Nick. However, sweetie, why would the ringmaster want to dress up like me? Isn't that a bit strange? If you think about it, all they found at the crime scene was my silk hat. What about my cloak? Where did that go? Wow, Max, I never thought about that. You should be a detective or something. Well, I was never quite sure what to be when I grew up, magician or president. You have no idea how hard it was to make a decision. That's really cool. Fabulous. This mystery just keeps getting deeper. Now that everyone is back, let's get started. The court is back in session. Ms. Von Karma, please proceed with the prosecution's case. Very well. I will now call my next witness. A pitiful clown with the unfortunate distinction of having seen the entire thing. Will Mr. Lawrence Curls please take the stand? Why did she just call him a pitiful clown? The witness will state his name and occupation for the court record. He looks sad. Ow! In West Clownopia, I didn't catch any of the rest of what she said, what he said. Name and occupation. Will the witness please inform the court why he is speaking autobiographical gibberish? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just not used to being in court. I've never been in a courtroom in my life.
I wasn't quite sure what joke is best suited to this sort of occasion. What in the world are you talking about? You're in a grand hall of justice, not a comedy club. Since it's easy to see your occupation, state your name for the court. Oh, yeah, maybe this joke is okay. Mom, do I have to wear pants? The sign only says no shirt, no shoes, no service. Okay, how about this? Have you met my proctologist? Dr. Seymour Butts. How about that one? But a couple of clowns who were up to no good started making trouble. What is with the autobiographical gag? Your name. Lawrence Curls. Professional funny man, also known as Mo the Clown. You witnessed the scene at around 10:15 p.m. the day of the murder, correct? Yes, it is. Very well, Mr. Curls. Please testify to what you saw that evening. A rabbi, a priest, and a Rastafarian walked into the plaza. Without the humor, please. Okay. Poor Mo can't be his normal stoogey self in court. Yeah, poor Mo. Look at this extremely tiny violin. I know. I'm not the greatest comedian in the world. I haven't been able to make people laugh for 10 years. No matter what I say, all I get in return is a vacant stare and polite applause. Since no one ever laughs at my jokes, I've taken to laughing at them myself. It's a bad habit, but at least I'm trying. Imagine my predicament. I'm a clown who can't make people laugh. I'm almost useless. But I keep trying. I even tried to come up with jokes just for today. But this atmosphere is nerve-wracking. I decided to try making everyone laugh. Seriously, everyone, what do you think of me? How am I doing? What? Aren't we the ones supposed to be asking questions here?
Witness,
Huh?
we will listen to your call for help after the court proceedings are over. Please stick to the facts of this case.
Really? You'll really hear me out?
Well, I'll make sure that one of my staff will be your straight man later.
Thank you! I can't wait! Poor Gumshoe. Now that that's settled, shall we begin once again with the testimony? Of course we can! I'll talk for as long as you want! The night of the murder, after practice was over, I went straight back to my room. You have no idea how tired I was that night. I was pooped. I thought I'd go straight to sleep, but before I did, I glanced out the window. That's when I saw two silhouettes. They were a bit far away, though. It was the ringmaster, and he was with Max, who was wearing his cloak. I kept watching them, and all of a sudden, Max clonked the ringmaster over the head. Wow, okay. That's very interesting. If this eyewitness account is to be believed, I have enough to pass judgment right now.
Wait, he said it was silhouettes. Of course you can. There is no way this account can be criticized.
However, the witness is a bit, how do you say, off-kilter. Almost like he has some atmosphere of guilt surrounding him. That must be because of my insincere smile. Mr. Wright, please begin the defense's cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor.
Nick, you've got to find some kind of contradiction in his testimony.
I know that. Mr. Wright. Your Honor? I'm afraid that if you push this witness too far, it would bring disaster upon the court. I sincerely hope you are not going to engage in pointless saber-rattling. I understand, Your Honor.
If you cause this clown to stray from the facts, I'll hold you responsible.
Why am I responsible? I'm not the one with corny jokes. What does that mean? That I'm not allowed to press everything? I guess I'm glad we saved? Okay. So, he wants us to stay on topic. I went straight back to my room. I don't have a reason to doubt that. I was pooped. Fine. Why did you glance out the window? Like, did you hear something? Or was there a gunshot? You just happened to glance out of the window? You could say that. You could also say I peeked, stared, glimpsed, peeped, eyeballed. Mr. Curls. Oh, I guess synonyms aren't allowed either. What should I do? I don't know. Why did you look out of your window that night? Why? Clowns don't need a reason to look out of their windows, do they? That's not what I meant. When we spoke yesterday, once I had tucked myself into bed, I heard this amazing noise. It was incredibly loud. It sounded like a giant thump. I completely forgot about that, thank God. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You forgot? Your Honor, the witness looked out of his window upon hearing a loud sound. He did not simply glance out of the window that night. Yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention thump, didn't I? Ow! That's not something you just forget to mention! What she said. I believe it would be best if Mo were to revise his testimony. Very well. Mr. Curls, please revise your testimony. What was the sound like? Well, I guess it sounded like. I guess you could say. Mr. Curls, may the court remind you humor is unnecessary. How'd you know I was gonna make a joke? I guess the sound sounded like it sounded like someone getting hit with something very hard. That's what it sounded like, honestly. Someone getting hit? What then? You went to look out the window and saw... You say you saw the ringmaster get clonked over the head. Yes, I did. It's the climax of my story. He really does enjoy completely random non sequiturs. What would you say the victim was struck with? You mean the weapon? I have no idea. The weapon wasn't found at the murder scene, right? That's not what I meant. You did say you saw everything, didn't you? Well, I suppose I did. Well, no, I didn't. I didn't see a weapon. Mo, did you or did you not see the crime of murder committed that night? I will not permit you to harass my witness in this manner. You'd better have an excellent reason for attacking this poor, poor clown. Because if you don't, you know what is waiting for you. A nice penalty. Isn't this a bit melodramatic? So what will it be then, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Do you have any clear basis to believe that my client did not see the crime? I think he heard the crime and looked out and invented the rest. That's what I think. I've got a great reason to make my claim. And I suppose you will be telling us all that great reason? Of course I will. The reason is... the witness's very own testimony. What is the meaning of that, Mr. Wright? Mo said he heard a sound, like a thump of someone getting hit. He did say that. However, Mo just stated the following under oath. I kept watching him, and all of a sudden, Max clonked the ringmaster over the head. If Mo is to be believed, when he says he looked out the window upon hearing a sound, there is no way he could have seen Max clonk anyone. Mr. Curls, how do you respond to Mr. Wright's assessment? He's doing the autobiography thing? These clowns promptly escaped from a maximum security clown car. Mr. Curls, are you reciting the C-Team theme to anger this court? No, I'm just stalling for time while I jog my memory. Great job, Nick! These types of witnesses always seem to have a selective memory. You just have to peel back the layers of clown makeup to find the truth. Well, you're back from your jog. Well, it pretty much happened the way I said. Pretty much. When I looked out my window that night, the ringmaster was already face down in the snow. The prosecution helped me fill in the gaps of my statement.
Oh, really?
Von Karma!
Tampering with witnesses again?
So now you are saying that you did not see the defendant clonk the ringmaster? Yes. When I looked out my window, the ringmaster had already checked out.
Checked out?
Yep. He was on permanent vacations, they say.
I thought he was your friend. Jesus.
Mr. Curls, Your Honor, you did not witness the actual crime. However, you still say you saw the criminal, correct? Yes, exactly! The ringmaster was slumped over, and I saw someone's silhouette next to him. Very well. Please testify to this silhouette you saw, and I expect the truth. If I catch even a hint of a joke from you, I will put you in a holding cell until you learn court etiquette. You got it?
So he is capable of insisting on decorum. He just never does.
Maybe he hates clowns. I can't blame him. No offense to any clowns in the audience. I just personally am not a clown person. Got it. It was a bit far away, but that shadow could only have belonged to Max. There's no doubting it, especially since I saw his uppity symbols. His silk hat, the black cloak, they were all there. His face was silhouetted, but there was no doubt that it was him. His cloak was fluttering in the wind, so I couldn't really see what he was carrying. It does seem as if the defendant was at the scene of the crime.
It took the clown long enough to get his facts straight. But whatever. This should finally be good enough, yes?
It is decisive testimony.
Was Max really at the scene that night? He said he wasn't there. We have to believe in that.
All right, Mr. Wright, commence your cross-examination.
You know what he didn't mention? He didn't mention the roses. Trilo mentioned the roses. How do I don't... They acted like it wasn't safe to question him. Can I just present something? But if I present his profile, they're just gonna say, yes, that one. That's not roses. I don't even have roses. Has anyone checked the box for traces of blood? That would be heavy enough to hurt somebody. Three famous symbols. Three. You say you saw all of Max's uppity symbols.
Well, I suppose so. The silk hat and the cloak, right? No. Everyone knows Maximilian Galactica has 3 uppity symbols. 3 symbols?
Yay! Everyone get ready! All together now! Silk hat, cloak, white roses!
What the?
Who cares if he knew that there were 3 or not? He saw what he saw, and he saw the symbols. He just forgot to mention one. Isn't that right, Mo?
Silence, fool! You are to respond with the whole truth, not fractions! Order! Mo, you didn't see the roses, did you? To be honest, there weren't any roses on the person I saw. The crime scene was dark. It's obvious it was too dark to see that kind of detail. But the witness said he was able to see the silhouette of the criminal's face. Not to mention that roses are white. There's no way he could have missed them. Then the roses must have fallen off when the defendant assaulted the victim. If that was the case, the police would have found them near the crime scene. Mr. Wright, are these white roses truly material to the facts of this case?
Clearly not. He is just toying with his court.
I got her on the ropes now. These seemingly insignificant facts have never failed to lead me to the truth yet. Someone is toying with the court, but it's not me. Your Honor, do you recall Trilo's testimony?
There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. How can you mistake someone with that crazy getup? How could you mistake someone wearing such a snobby 3-piece getup?
Trilo saw them all 3 of Max's symbols. However, this witness claims there were no white roses on the person he saw. There is absolutely no doubt that this is a contradiction. Now what am I supposed to think? One is supposed to disregard the pointless, but this...
Judge! Forget the roses! Think about his other testimony! The witness has stated without a doubt that he saw Maximilian Galactica. Nothing else matters. Let's wrap this case up now.
Your Honor, it may be trivial, but it does cast doubt on the prosecution's case. Frankly, I have my doubts about this witness. It seems that, unlike wine, this witness has not grown more mature with age. I'm not mature. I've come to a conclusion. I'm 99% certain that this witness saw the defendant. However, my remaining 1% of doubt is quite reasonable, which means that for my peace of mind, I'm going to request a bit more testimony.
What?
If there are no contradictions in his next statement, I am prepared to issue a ruling.
Nick, this is your last chance!
There's no doubt in my mind. There were no white roses that night. However, all the other symbols were there. I'm equally sure of that. Especially the silk hat. There is no way I could forget seeing the decorations on it. He was wearing it the entire time he was on the scene. Mr. Wright, you've got one last chance at this.
Just one chance?
I will not allow even the slightest hint of badgering against this witness. If you are going to prove to me there's a contradiction within Mr. Curl's statement, you'd better have at least a shred of evidence to back up your accusations. I've only got a single shot at this. I've got to be careful. I understand, Your Honor. One chance is all I need.
I don't like this. It feels artificial, like we're just gonna make it harder by making the judge
more difficult.
half of the testimony is about the hat. He was wearing it the entire time. But we have it now. But we have it now. We have it now. He wasn't wearing it the entire time.
This wouldn't happen to be the silk hat you saw that night, would it? Yep, that's it! That's the hat he was wearing that night! No question in your mind? Exactly how would one mistake a thing like that? I see. Is there some sort of problem, Mr. Wright? Ms. Von Karma? Where exactly was the silk hat found? Must you always ask these questions? It was found at the crime scene. The crime scene? That means... The silk hat fell off at the crime scene. However, this witness clearly testified to the contrary. The witness stated he was wearing it the entire time he was on the scene. Order! Mr. Curls! Yes, Your Honor? What is the meaning of all this? You are old enough to know better than to behave like this in court. That's just not right. That's harsh. What's not right here is your eyesight and your memory, amongst other things. Why are you being so mean to me? What did I do? Let me guess. You didn't like my jokes or something, right? You don't have to go and insult my eyesight or my memory. They're both great. Just because you are sitting above me doesn't mean you belong there, and no matter how old I get, I'll always be younger than you! Enough of these childish outbursts, Mr. Curls. Who do you think you are? I saw him. I swear I saw him. It was Max. Even if he didn't have his roses, he was still wearing his dumb silk hat. I'm telling the truth. He's turned into a bratty little kid. It's pitiful, isn't it? He left the scene wearing that dumb silk hat. He was there. He left the scene? What's the matter, Nick? There's something I've been mulling over for a while now. Mo? What do you want? You just said he left the scene. How did the murderer leave the scene of the crime? What? He went... What do you mean, how did he leave the scene? You can't ask me that. Mr. Phoenix Wright is badgering the witness, Your Honor. This witness's testimony is so full of holes, Ms. Von Karma's protest is useless. You've got a point. Let's hear what the witness has to say on this matter. Is that alright with you, little guy? Don't talk to me like I'm a baby! Besides, what kind of stupid question is how did he leave the scene? The answer's obvious. He turned around and walked away. That's what I expected you to say. You're sure that's how it's happened? Say what? Huh? I'm not sure I know exactly where you're going with this. Y'all lawyers nowadays sure do love to harp on the smallest things. In my youth, we just hung everyone before lunch and called it a day. You know he's thinking that. Do you have any proof to counter his story as to how the criminal left the scene? Yeah, the one where there's no footprints.
Take that!
Look at this picture. The problem is the footprints in the snow. Footprints? In this photo, we can clearly see the footprints of the victim. However, where are the criminal's footprints? They aren't there. So, Mo, exactly how did the criminal escape the scene? Your Honor, this witness has already proven that his testimony is completely unreliable. I move to strike all of this witness's testimony from the court record. I agree. This clown's testimony is as rickety as the clown car he came to court in. Wait just a second! You guys can't ignore everything I've said. Fine, I'll tell you the truth. You wait a second. I think you said more than enough for today. That didn't hurt. I'm sick and tired of listening to you anyways. I'll give you the real deal this time, I swear. I get the feeling things are gonna get worse before they get better. Mr. Lawrence Curls. Yes, the testimony you've provided up until now has been false. It hasn't been false. I haven't lied. It's just what? I was a bit confused on the bit about the criminal leaving the scene. Especially since Von Karma and her whip told me not to talk about what I really saw. Mumble, mumble, mumble. She's as corrupt as her father. Mumble, mumble. Order! I will have order! Franziska Von Karma, how could you? Your Honor, if you had heard the truth from this witness, you would have exactly the same opinion I have. What opinion is that? It's not funny. That's enough out of you. I'm going to listen to what he has to say. Now then, let's hear the truth about what you saw, Mr. Curls. You're not gonna believe this, but it's all true, I tell you. Try not to waste our time with your idiotic drivel. Now it's time for our next segment, Mo Knows. Everything I've said up until now has been the truth. When I looked out the window, the ringmaster was down and Max was standing above him. He wasn't wearing his white roses, but he was wearing the silk hat. That's when I saw. Oh, God. This is the truth now. Get ready for it. He flew. He jumped up and flew through the air. He flew right off and disappeared into darkness. That's why there were no footprints. Flying people don't leave footprints. Why didn't he leave footprints getting to the scene? I told you it wasn't funny. Do you believe me now? Well, that was... How do you put this into words? Maximilian Galactica is a world-class magician. But to leave the scene of a crime by flying, there's no way that actually happened. You're right. Why is she right? You believed the other witnesses. Why won't you believe me? Especially since it's the best part of the story. To be honest, this is the first time I've heard of a flying criminal. What do you think about this witness's testimony, Mr. Wright? I'm gonna say he was telling the truth and was someone with a pogo stick or something. What he just said was so strange. I don't think he would have made it up. Which means that he is telling the truth? That's what I think. Nick, wait! That means Max actually used magic! Yikes, you're right. Or it was somebody else! Ow! Only a foolish-looking fool could be fooled by such a foolish fool's foolish dream. Don't be ridiculous. Magic does not exist. I feel like there were more options than that, but... I suppose I will let you all in on my thinking regarding the matter. The criminal disappeared into the sky. I'd love to believe that, but I just can't wrap my head around how that could actually happen. You imbecile! If you disregard a need for proof, Miss Von Karma's case is sound. However, I've got the feeling that this case is in dire need of more investigation. Thus, I will conclude today's proceedings at this point. It is an undisputed fact that the criminal left no footprints at the scene. Tomorrow, I want us to find out the reason behind this mystery of mysteries. And I believe that's enough for today. Court is adjourned. Well? Hey, sweeties! What in the world is going on? Poor thing. That's what I want to know. They say the criminal flew off into the air and disappeared. Max, I can't believe I'm asking you this, but you didn't fly that night, did you? I know you didn't mean to ask me such a fabulously stupid question. I can't fly whenever I please. It's not that easy. But it looks so effortless for you on the stage. It's not that simple. I'm not actually flying on stage. I use invisible wires and have them hoist me through the air. You just told me the secret to your magic. No, I broke the first rule, the cardinal rule, the only rule. I think you're allowed when you're on trial for murder, sweetheart. I'm sorry, Max. We made you break a magician's creed to never reveal the secret to their tricks. Nick, what do we do now? And all we can do now is hope we find the flying criminal in court tomorrow. Great idea! Let's do our best and catch this sucker! Poor Max. Oh. How long was that one? I need to go back to setting my little alarm. I think it was 30 minutes, so not that long, but not so short that I can combine it with the last one, so it is what it is. So I think tomorrow we're supposed to go back to the circus and talk to people. I want to talk to the guy who owns the monkey, Acro, because I suspect he is the key to all of this. He had a room just above the crime scene, so that's an escape. You can't just go up into the sky indefinitely. You have to stop somewhere. So I think whoever the murderer was, he probably went up to Acro's room. So I'm tentatively putting my money on it being Acro just because of the location of his room. The other dark horse we have here is Regina, because she seemed pretty chill about her dad being killed. And honestly, I can never tell if that's just the sort of background radiation misogyny of all the female characters we meet, well, most of the female characters we meet being kind of vapid and shallow, so that it's just like, yeah, my dad died. Oh, well, like, what are you going to do about that? Although they did at least play on our expectations a little bit, where the last vapid girl was at least pretending to be vapid as opposed to being actually vapid, so that was kind of nice. So Regina is another weird kind of outlying horse in this murder race, because it's like, I mean, who do we got? We got Max. I don't think Max is the killer. I just don't. I do wonder if they ever give you a client who is actually guilty, but I don't think he is. You've got obviously the victim, and I don't see him killing himself, although I'm really confused of the point of the box and the pepper. You've got the clown, who I don't think did it. He's a witness, and he's confused, but I don't think he did it. I don't think the creepy puppet guy did it. So the options are like the acrobat, and Regina. That's really all there is. I'm pretty sure. And my money's on Acro. I think Regina, I think the whole, oh yeah, my dad died, I think that's less supposed to be pointing at her guilt and more just, like, as with everything else, should I marry a puppet? What do you think? So Max said he wanted to marry Regina. And Russell said, I'll be right back. I gotta go talk to someone. It won't take me more than 10 minutes. Russell had to be the one who took the hat and the cloak out into the snow and past Ben, for Ben to have seen Max. And I can believe that. It had been a snowstorm, so okay, cool. Wearing a cloak, wearing a hat. Or potentially Russell wanted to frame Max for something, which is possible. Max was extorting him for a tremendous amount of money, being the headlining act, and now here he is trying to marry his 16-year-old daughter. I can see wanting to frame the guy, but that kind of feels a little out of character for this guy who was supposedly the sweetest guy in the whole world, and plus, like, it feels a little bit like killing the golden goose. You know, he's able to pay an exorbitant amount because he's making an even more exorbitant amount. So Max is keeping the circus afloat and keeping his performers fed, and supposedly that mattered a lot to Russell. So let's just say he took the hat and cloak for warmth. Okay, that's fine. Makes sense. He goes to the dorm where Mo and Acro live, but also maybe everybody. It's just we didn't visit everybody. Was he trying to go ask Regina what she thought about the marriage proposal? Somebody ambushed him and struck him in the head, then grabbed the top hat and cloak and flew away. That's where I'm really struggling. And left behind a big chest full of pepper. A little condiment bottle of pepper. That's weird. That needs to be explained because that is weird. Hopefully we'll find that out in the next video. So once again, this is Ace Attorney. My name is Anna Mardal, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.